Chris holding the ball. And he used to push his little lawnmower around the field for hours and hours. But like my dad said, I mean, he was very easy kid to have around.
Oh, Catherine, remember when Dad used to strap Chris with a little lawn chair onto his like ride-a-mower, so Chris would have his little mini kid like mini seat bungee cord onto the real lawnmower, and my dad would like ride him around.
Super safe.
Now you get
So, I wish I had, I know you all want to hear stories about his awkward teenage years, but when Chris was 7, I went to college. And after college, I moved out to San Francisco. So I was gone for 9 years during that amazingly awkward part of his life. So I don't have that many stories to share with you, but one of the things, and we used to go on family vacations when we were in college, and all the, the big kids would be playing different games at home with Mom and Dad would go for dinner, drink maybe a game called Asshole that we called Garbage Man, so that Chris could play with us, because he was the only little kid around. So we played Garbage Man, and just, Chris obviously didn't drink. We didn't let him drink, because he was like 10. But he got really good at the card game. So just when you thought you were gonna win, Chris would put you out of business and you'd become the asshole. Or you'd remember or the garbage man. You'd remember that he didn't say last card or whatever. So it wasn't really fair anymore. So we had to make him have something in the, some skin in the game. So we used to make him drink milk. So whenever you had to drink, Chris had to drink, and he had to drink milk. He still wanted milk. He would just sit there with a huge bloated belly. We have other problems, but he would just have this big, sick, bloated belly. So anyway, fast forward. So I went to San Francisco. He went to college. So fast forward many years, come back, and I moved to New York City. And now he's like a person. He's like a colleague and a real guy who we could go out with and have fun with, and became a friend, which was so nice that that 10-year age gap, and 8 years difference for them, became nothing. And we really did become great friends, and we're so lucky to have that.
Yeah. And during that friend period, so things transitioned from, Chris being little young brother with the big age gap to us, going out drinking together and having a fun time and seeing other sides of Chris and learning that oftentimes he was only operating at 10%. Okay, you're doing okay. We may be a little worried about you.
10% high.
We always had faith that he would pull through. We knew he had a good head on his shoulders, but to be honest with you, the real transition, as my dad alluded to, happened when Chris and Leah got together, and Leah was like the savior, the shining light that came in, and Chris still has his fun nights, but literally Leah was the perfect balance of a grounding figure, but also liked to have fun. So she was never cracked the whip, never overbearing, but it was really a beautiful, not that I saw it, but beautiful progression and a really nice balance where, Chris, we always knew eventually he would get to that point, and we always had faith that Leah, you helped him get there, much sooner than he probably would have. I think, when we knew that things were getting really serious with Chris, in terms of how he felt for Leah, is at one point Chris said, I can't mess this up. And then we were like, okay, he's never said this about another girl before. We know he really loves her. And, sorry. one other point on that is we really got a window into him being head over heels for Leah when Leah would like go away for business and Chris would be like, oh yeah, I'm babysitting the girls. He'd be like carting the girls back from the city on the train with two fancy little like puppy dogs and be like, okay, like literally, this is true love. But Leah, to be honest with you, like Chris couldn't have found a better girl. We love you so much. You're gonna be our third sister. Like even you probably look more like Filiberto than I do. But I'm so happy for you guys and what's to come for you.
So I have 2 kids, and when my husband and I were talking about should we have a third, he's one of 3 also, and we kept saying, imagine if we didn't have Chris and his brother, and we can't imagine not having you, and it's so great to have you as such a good friend. And Leah, like Lauren said, we're so excited to have you as a sister. So everyone, please raise a glass. To a lifetime of love and happiness. And we know if it's up to Leah, it'll be lots of babies. And we can't wait for that. Cheers. And feel free, everyone else. You know, the floodgates are open. So, yeah.
The floodgates are open.